I think it'll be fun to look back on this year's draft class a year from now, at the end of this year, and then again in 5 years. Because I think after 1 year, it'll look one way. Josh Rosen will probably be the best quarterback after just 1 year. But it's possible that Sam Darnold won't play, Lamar Jackson won't play, Baker Mayfield may not play. So in 5 years, it'll look even more different than it looks after 1 year. And it's going to be fun to look back on this draft class. I believe this draft class is very unique, full of quarterbacks, lots and lots of quarterbacks, more than next year, more than 2 years ago. I'm excited to look back on this draft class. So these are 7 things you should never, ever forget about the 2018 draft class. The first thing is this. Never forget the Cleveland Browns chose Baker Mayfield over Sam Darnold, over Josh Rosen, and over everybody else. Baker Mayfield was the number 1 overall pick. I should not have to remind you of that. The Browns, whether he is good or whether he's not good, are going to be reminded that they chose Baker Mayfield for the next 15 years. Again, if Baker Mayfield's fantastic, yay, we did the right thing. And if Baker Mayfield doesn't work, oh man. If Baker Mayfield doesn't work, but Sam Darnold does, but Josh Rosen does, that's going to look really bad for the Cleveland Browns. The other thing to never forget, number 2, is the Giants passed on both Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen and actually everybody else. The Giants decided not to go get a quarterback this year. I think it matters. I think in 5 years, we're going to look back and realize the Giants should have got a quarterback. That was a big mistake. Now, the third thing is this. Remember, the Broncos committed to Case Keenum. The Broncos could have gotten a quarterback, and they decided not to. They decided we're going to commit to Case Keenum, our free agent quarterback from Minnesota. For better or worse, time will tell. I don't know if that was a good move or not. But we know the Broncos, they got Bradley Chubb, great defensive player. And the Broncos elected not to draft a quarterback because they believed in Case Keenum. We will see if that pays off. The fourth thing you should never forget about the 2018 NFL draft is that the Bills chose Josh Allen over Josh Rosen. The Bills chose the unproven quarterback that struggles with accuracy from Wyoming. They chose Josh Allen over Josh Rosen. Well, I don't believe in that. That's the one. Baker Mayfield, I can live with. Sam Darnold, I can live with. You choose Josh Allen over Josh Rosen. That, to me, seems like probably a huge, huge mistake. Well, time will tell. I know after 1 year, that's going to look really bad. The fifth thing you should remember is that Josh Rosen was the 4th quarterback. Not the 1st, not the 2nd, not the 3rd. 3 quarterbacks were chosen before Josh Rosen was chosen in this year's NFL draft. He was the 10th overall pick. Kind of reminds me of, Dan Marino slid a ton in the NFL draft. Aaron Rodgers slid a ton in the NFL draft, and yet Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback from his draft class. It could be very, very similar with Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen slid a lot. He could prove everybody wrong, though, and be significantly better than everybody in this draft class. The 6th thing to remember is that every single team passed on Lamar Jackson, including the Ravens, the team that got him. Everybody passed on Lamar Jackson. If he turns into a huge star, remember the Patriots could have had him. The Bengals could have had him. The Dolphins could have had him. Everybody passed on Lamar Jackson. And if in 3 years from now he's fantastic, never, ever forget all 32 teams passed on Lamar Jackson. Every single team could have had him. The Ravens had to trade back into the 1st round to the 32nd overall pick to go get Lamar Jackson. Never, ever forget. The 7th thing you should never, ever forget. Not only did everybody pass on Mason Rudolph, for better or worse, maybe Mason Rudolph will fail, but Mason Rudolph was a 3rd round pick. Mason Rudolph went to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and if in 3 years from now he's a fantastic player and a starter, maybe it'll be 5 years, but it's very possible Mason Rudolph could be the next franchise quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Remember, everybody passed on Mason Rudolph. They could have had him. The Giants could have got him in the 2nd round. The Giants did not. Everybody passed on Mason Rudolph. Those are 7 things you should never, ever forget. I'm going to make a couple predictions now. My first prediction is that after just 1 year, I believe that Josh Rosen will be the best quarterback in this draft class. After 1 year, it's what it's going to look like. Because never forget, remember, Lamar Jackson may not play this year. Darnold, it's possible, could not take a snap next year. Maybe Baker Mayfield will not play this year. I don't know about Josh Allen, but I think it's possible Josh Rosen could start every game of next year's football season, and he might look amazing. So it's very possible after just 1 year, everyone's going to be saying, hey, Josh Rosen is the best quarterback in this draft class. But I don't think that's entirely fair. Because again, I don't think every quarterback is going to play this year. I think what's going to be really interesting is 2, 3, I think 5 years from now. What are we going to look back on from this draft class? Are we going to think, the Broncos could have had Josh Allen and they decided not to? Or, the Broncos could have drafted Josh Rosen and they decided not to. Should the Broncos have drafted a quarterback? The other thing to think about is, will Mason Rudolph be a future star for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Is Mason Rudolph going to be the franchise quarterback for the Steelers? If he is, if Mason Rudolph wins a Super Bowl, a lot of teams are going to look really dumb because they could have had him. In fact, if any of the quarterbacks other than Baker Mayfield win a Super Bowl, the Browns are going to look pretty stupid because the Browns chose Baker Mayfield. Was that the right choice? Time will tell. I think it could have been. I'm not going to hate on Baker Mayfield. Maybe 5 years from now, we're going to go, wow, Baker Mayfield is king of the North. He's fantastic. But for now, who's going to be right? 5 years from now, I cannot wait to find out. Who was right about Sam Darnold? Was it the Giants who passed on him? Or was it the New York Jets who decided to draft him? Because one of these teams is going to be right, and one of these teams is going to be very, very wrong. The Giants could have had a franchise quarterback. They decided not to. The Jets, immediately after the Giants passed on him, the Jets got him. Who's right, the Giants or the Jets? Will Sam Darnold be a star? Does Lamar Jackson or even Josh Allen, do either one of them pan out? 5 years from now, we're going to know. Either one of them could be a bust. Either one of them could make it. I don't really know. I'm very excited to see where Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are 5 years from now. The last one is this. Will Josh Rosen, because Josh Rosen, after 1 year, I'm very, very convinced, after one season, we're all going to think Josh Rosen was the best quarterback from this draft class. Will he take a lead and never let it go? Or will Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, will they come back? Will they pass maybe Lamar Jackson, Mason Rudolph? And 5 years from now is, after just one season, again, Josh Rosen will look like the best quarterback from this draft class. 5 years from now, will he still be held in the same opinion? Will Josh Rosen still look like the best quarterback 5 years from now? I don't know. Time will tell. Thank you for watching this video. Remember, if you like it, you can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube. You can find the full entire hour-long podcast on YouTube. And if you really like this podcast, help me grow Strong Opinion Sports by telling your friends about the show on Facebook, on Twitter, whatever it is. Help me grow Strong Opinion Sports by telling your friends about this show.